ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute, text number 16 onwards. In the previous podcast, we discussed how there are four types of people who are materially engrossed, materially puffed up, materially confused, and materially motivated, never surrendered to Krishna. In text number 16, and in the next few verses, he explains four types of people who surrender unto him, and then what are the symptoms of somebody who is the best of these four, and how he is so dear to him. Text number 16. चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम जनः सुकृतिनो अर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Now these are four types of people: somebody who's in distress, somebody who's in need of wealth, prosperity, somebody who's actually just inquisitive, he just likes to know things, and somebody who's actually searching for the supreme truth. Now we see so many such people, those who are in distress, they desire wealth, prosperity, so many things in life. Then there are so many who are just inquisitive, and some who are actually looking for God. But you see, not everybody ends up on this path. Then why is Krishna saying that these four types of people come to him? Because not everybody is in distress or need of money goes to him, or even the other two classes that Krishna has mentioned. So that's where we have to note a particular word which is being used by Krishna in this particular text, called Sukritinaha, the fortunate ones. Those who have previous Sukriti, by unknowingly they might have done some act of devotional service. They might have served a devotee or appreciated some aspect of Krishna consciousness, or unknowingly donated to the service of the Lord, or unknowingly served in some temple or assisted a devotee. Or this is called Sukriti, unknowingly performed devotional service. And when such people are in distress, or they desire wealth, or inquisitive, or they're searching for God, they don't get deviated. Instead of going to 10 other places, or instead of their mind going to someone else for help, they turn to Krishna, because they are fortunate, because of their past this devotional deed that is performed unknowingly. They are fortunate. So if we are in distress and if we are fortunate, instead of turning to something else, or going to depression, or going into bad habits, or committing suicide, we'll turn to Krishna. If we desire wealth, instead of going anywhere else, we will just pray to Krishna, seek his shelter. He's Lakshmi Pati. If we are just inquisitive, instead of just trying to find 10 different things, we'll end up finding God. And then there is the fourth class of people who are actually looking for him. They will not get distracted by 10 different paths. They will end up coming to Krishna. And out of these four, now Krishna gives his opinion, who is most dear to him, who is the best. Text number 17. Tesham gyani nitya yukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi gyani no atyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is very dear to me. The fourth one who is in knowledge. Because the reason is, out of these four, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is actually searching for the knowledge of the Absolute, the fourth one is the one who is having the purest motive. And the Lord is simply concerned with our intention. All others are also dear to the Lord. Anybody who comes to the Lord, anyone who approaches Krishna with whatever desire, is appreciated by the Lord, and Krishna considers such people very dear to him. But the one who is most dear, because they're actually going to the right person at least. But the one who is most dear is the one who is actually looking for him, because his motive is pure. He's looking for him. He's not looking for wealth or to come out of distress, or just inquisitive where he's confused, doesn't know. He's just trying things. Out of these four, the fourth one has the purest motive. So it again drives home the point that intention has to be to please the Lord. Intention, the goal has to be Him only. Then He is very pleased. It's not that anybody who comes will receive the same result. It all depends on the bhava. That's why it is said, Bhavagrahi Janardana. Why are we listening to these podcasts? Why are we studying the Gita? Why do we go to a temple? So many people do it. So many people are doing it. But the result that each one of us will receive will depend on our intention. Are we doing it to please the Lord? I must listen to this Bhagavad Gita because this is a message He's left for me. And I must listen to it and give my valuable time because then He's pleased. Just like if an author writes a book, what would please him the most? If somebody reads it. So Krishna has left this Gita for us and we are giving our time every day. So He's definitely pleased. But if you want to give Him the highest happiness, pleasure, to receive His highest grace, then our motive has to be simply, oh, I'm doing it just for His pleasure. Whether I remember anything or learn anything or understand anything is not so relevant. I must give this time, because giving somebody your time is an expression of trying to deepen that relationship. If you don't give somebody your time, you may give them wealth, facility, property, whatever. Eventually the relationship will fall apart. Time is very important, because when you give somebody your time, that means you really value that person. So the fourth one, we should be in this category. We are doing it, we are trying to acquire knowledge about Krishna. We are not doing this to get something in return, or to get better in our life, or so that I'll get more blessings, so that I'll get more facilities, so that I can enjoy more. Or I'm not doing it to come out of distress. These are also good. Even if we take shelter of Krishna with any of these material motives as well, still Krishna loves us and He appreciates. He considers such people very, very special. But He's saying the best of all, who's most dear to me, is the one who is looking for me. I'm very dear to Him and He's very dear to me. That He makes it very clear again in text number 18. Udaraha sarva evaite jnani tva atmeva me matam astitah sahi yuktatma mam evanuttamam gatin. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me I consider to be just like my own self. He says all these people are magnanimous souls. Such is the compassion of the Lord's heart, that even if somebody is approaching Him with any material motive, He considers such person magnanimous. Being engaged in my transcendental service is sure to attain me the highest and most perfect goal. Such a person will certainly attain me, because I am his goal and is looking for my knowledge. Once he gets that knowledge, he'll engage in my transcendental service and then he'll surely attain me. So engagement in the devotional service of the Lord, beginning with hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping His deity form, etc., is the application of the transcendental knowledge. So we don't just study and do nothing after 4 years. What is the use if we do PhD but then do nothing after that? It has to be applied in life. So similarly, when we acquire transcendental knowledge from scriptures, it must be applied in our life. When we apply it, we get realizations, and then those realizations increase our faith. And then further, such a person, one who is in knowledge, who is looking for me, working for me, engaging in my devotional service, text 19, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. After many, many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. And knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very, very rare. So it's a very, very rare thing to find a completely surrendered soul to Krishna. Krishna says it's not very easy. Somebody who acquires full knowledge, who's been looking for myself, and he ends up getting that knowledge after many, many births and deaths, then he understands my supreme position and surrenders unto me fully, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, the goal of all that be, and the cause of all that be. But it is very rare to find such a soul. So if you find such a soul, we should know it's a special person, when you should take association of such a person who has dedicated himself fully to the service of the Lord, understanding Krishna's supreme position as the cause of all causes. So to come to this understanding, it may take many births and deaths, even for a person who is looking for him, who's trying to cultivate knowledge about him. It's not that easy. First of all, the motive has to be pure, and in that also one has to go through many lifetimes, and then only one comes to a stage where he is fully able to surrender, understanding from the knowledge that he has acquired the supreme position of Krishna. And such a soul is very rare. So we all have that opportunity to become that rare soul. Now we are hearing from the Gita directly, and the message of the Gita is very simple: surrender, taking shelter, not going here and then, just sticking to one path, taking shelter of Krishna, because he is the goal of the Vedas, he is the cause of all causes. Understanding this, hearing about his supreme position, and as he is explaining in this particular chapter, giving knowledge about himself, we should just stop looking everywhere else and just surrender unto him, and then our good fortune will arise. So if Krishna is the supreme soul, he's a super soul, he's the supreme Lord, then why don't people surrender to him? And why it takes such a long time, and why only rare souls are able to achieve this feat? He mentions in text number 20. Kamestaistar hritagyanah prapadyantyan devatah tam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyatah swaya. He says, people do not surrender unto me and they surrender unto devatas, demigods, because their intelligence has been stolen by material desires, because they have so many material desires, and I'm not their goal. That's why Krishna said, who's actually looking for my knowledge is the best, and he is sure to reach me after many births and deaths, after knowing about my supremacy. But those who are only fascinated by material desires, they surrender to demigods. It's very difficult for them to come, and because material desires is their goal, so their intelligence is stolen by them, and therefore they go to demigods, and I'm not their goal. And demigods are known for fulfilling material necessities, and therefore they follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So the type of worship we perform, the kind of faith we have, is all dependent on the past karma that we are carrying. But Krishna says, even though they start worshipping a particular devata, it is I only who will make their faith strong in that devata. Yo yam tanum bhaktah shraddhayarchitam ichchati tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. I mean, everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Why would Krishna do that? If he is the supreme, why would he make somebody's shraddha, somebody's faith in a demigod for material desire strong? Because the demigod worship, if somebody follows the rules and regulations properly as prescribed in the Vedas, two things happen. Number one, these rituals are designed in such a way that the person will, if he devotes himself fully to that particular devata, it will cause gradual purification of his heart, and he will also get to hear about some higher subject matter in these rituals, in these scriptures also, and that way he will be reminded of some higher power, and because of gradual purification of the heart, he will be elevated spiritually gradually. It may take many lifetimes, but gradual purification will happen. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas, and then gradually one day after that purification, they will come to the stage where they realize Vasudevaha Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha, that oh, Lord Vasudeva is everything. So they will have to take many steps. It will happen, but only not that all the devotees of Devatas will achieve this result. Some people get stuck, and some people follow the process, but not genuinely. Kali Yuga mein to it's all topsy-turvy. So it's a very dangerous situation. So Krishna makes somebody's faith in a particular devata strong so that he becomes more involved and absorbed, and then all these devatas are nothing but powerful rulers of the universe. They are the eternal agents of the Lord. Not eternal, they are the universal agents of the Lord. So at least indirectly, uh, somebody will try and connect with the Lord, because ultimately their power, the sanction is going to come from the Lord only. So indirectly, not with proper understanding, but indirectly. Endowed with such a faith, sataya shraddhaya yuktas tasya radhanam ihate labhate cha tatah kaman mayyeva vihitan hitan. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but in actuality these benefits are bestowed upon them by me alone. So Krishna is saying at least in some way they are connected to that Vedic path, but all those results are also bestowed upon them by me alone. So now an intelligent person should understand that whether they go to Devatas or they go to Krishna, ultimately it is Krishna who is going to sanction. So why not directly go to Krishna? And that's when Krishna clarifies here in text number 23. Antavanta tu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedhasam. Devan deva yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. He calls such people alpamedhasam. Medhasam refers to buddhi, intelligence. He says, men of small intelligence only worship the demigods and their fruits. Why? Why does he call such people men with small intelligence to worship the devatas? Because the benefits, the fruits that they give are limited, because they have limited power. And secondly, the fruits, the benefit that they give are temporary, because they themselves are not permanent, they are temporary. Their positions are temporary. So limited power, limited results. So if you are doing so much hard work, why not do it for the one whose blessings are eternal? Those who worship the demigod. Now, this is an answer from Krishna to those who think that all paths lead to the same goal, and whoever you worship, all are one. Sab to ek hi hai. India mein we see this a lot. We hear this a lot. I keep hearing this a lot. Oh, actually, all are same only. Now, whoever you worship, and it's all the same. Such hazy understanding, such ignorance people show. It's not that you are serving some restaurant owner on a highway in a dhaba. Sorry, a restaurant owner or a dhaba owner. You're washing vessels in that person's house, and then you're washing vessels in the house of the richest man of the world. The activity is the same, but the results you won't get the same. The results you will get based on the position, the caliber of the person you are serving. So Krishna clarifies here, Devan deva yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. My devotees come to me, they get liberated, but those who worship the devatas go to their planets which are within the material world, which are under the control of birth, old age, disease, death. Again, they don't get liberated, they are stuck still. And then, so these are less intelligent people who worship the devatas unnecessarily, waste their time. With all due respect to them, it's not that we have to become insensitive to the devatas. It's not that we are demeaning them. No, it is just stating the facts. And we have to respect them according to their position. A devotee respects even an ant, so why not respect the devatas? But it is very important to clarify the position. If somebody worships the devatas, they get benefits whatever they can bestow, and somebody worships Krishna, they get benefits whatever Krishna will bestow, and even the other benefits that the devatas bestow are bestowed by Krishna only, sanctioned by Krishna only. Ultimate signatures are done by him, he is the sanctioner. So these are less intelligent. But then there is another category of people, Krishna says, who are unintelligent. They have no intelligence. Who are these people? Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah param bhavam ajananto mamavayayam anuttavam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So there's another class of people who thinks God is formless. One is they're worshipping the devatas, they're less intelligent. But at least they're worshipping someone, so less intelligence. They have some intelligence, but less. But there's another class of people, unintelligent, who consider God to be formless. Now all the pastimes that the Lord has performed, even the instructions that he is giving in the Gita, he has done it in his form only. He has stressed the form so much. So how can somebody say He's standing in front of Arjuna. If formlessness was so supreme, why would Krishna be standing in front of Arjuna as a chariot driver? Why does he need to appear as somebody's son? And some people say, no, it is the formless aspect which gives rise to form. What is the need of the form then, if formless is the supreme? And we always think the sunlight is coming from the sun. Sunlight is not giving birth to sun. Sun is the source of sunlight. Similarly, form is the source of formlessness. It is not the other way around. The bulb is the source of light. Light is not the source of bulb. I have a father. Like you have a father. He had a father. He had a father. Go back. And ultimately the Supreme Father won't have a form. Our father has a form. His father had a form. His father had a form. His father had a form. The Supreme Father would not have a form. What kind of absurd logic is this? So this has to be done away with. Such people are unintelligent, Krishna says. Krishna, the Supreme Authority, is saying this. And he, being the Supreme Lord, knows more about himself than these people. Unintelligent people who think that God is formless. God is Krishna is saying they're unintelligent. I'm standing. I have a form. Brahma is saying the Lord has a form. And what happens, Krishna says then, as he is explained in chapter 3, text number 11, I think, where he says, or chapter 4, text 11. He says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sateva vajamyam. As you approach me with whatever bhav, I reciprocate accordingly. And how does Krishna reciprocate with such people? Text number 25, he says, Naham prakashah sarvasya yogomayaha samavritah mudho yam abhijanati loko mamajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. These people who think that the God does not have a form, so the Lord says, all right, I'll remain formless only for you. I will never show my form to you. You are foolish and unintelligent. I'll keep myself covered by my Yogamaya potency. And therefore such people will never understand me, never understand my nature. So we have to be very careful not to associate with this kind of understanding. God is formless, formless, formless. That is an insult to God. So now Krishna is again turning his attention to explaining his absolute nature, and thus he concludes this chapter also soon. Like he begins this chapter by explaining how he is the source of everything material and spiritual, and he explains his opulences. Now we're just towards the end of chapter. Let's see what he says. Vedaham samati tani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but no one knows me. Because he is not ordinary like us. He is beyond the purview of material senses. So we cannot know him with our material senses. We have to rise to the spiritual platform, re-spiritualize our senses to know him. And he will only be known when he reveals himself. And this is one of his opulence, that only when he wants us to know him, we can know him. And the path he has already declared through bhakti, the path of bhakti yoga. And this entire section deals with that. Chapter number 7 to 12. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. He's talking about the nature of this world. Everybody is born into delusion. Nobody knows who they are. They are affected by the dualities, hate, love, honor, dishonor, praise, criticism. But such souls who have acted piously in their past life, what is the result? Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So mostly everyone is born into delusion because of their past karmas, and they get affected by the ups and downs of life. But those who have been pious souls in their past life and this life also, their life is that of goodness. They don't engage in sinful activities. Such people are freed. They don't get affected by the dualities and the ups and downs of life, challenges of life, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. And such people only will have the determination to engage in the Lord's devotional service. Therefore, we see so many people in this world. They come together, they might come to a satsang, a discourse, but maybe 5 of them will come forward. They have heard the same thing. Everyone has heard the same thing. Out of 50 people, 5 people come forward and they take to the path very seriously. They become so attached to the teachings, they start practicing, whereas 45 just go away. Why? It all depends on how much good or bad karma, the stock they are carrying from the past. Those who are pious souls and those who are close to sinless and have not acted or not acting sinfully, such people get attracted to the path immediately. But those who don't, even after hearing, that means a lot of impious life that they have led in the past and maybe in this lifetime also. So sinful people are impure. They cannot approach Krishna. Only pure souls can. So when we see some people spontaneously getting attached to the path, following it so sincerely, that means they are pious souls. They must be respected and we should draw inspiration from them and try to follow in their footsteps and become like them. So if you are not attracted to the path, we need to purify our own hearts and pray for it. Chant the Lord's names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, like that. And this is the fastest way to purification. Chant and hear as much as you can. And such people are known as intelligent. Jara Marana Mokshaya Mam Ashritya Yatantiye Te Brahmatad Viduhu Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. They are actually already on the transcendental platform because they are on the right path. They want to be liberated from this material world and not entangled. These are such intelligent people. So who is intelligent? Really, someone who is trying to become free from the miseries of old age, disease, death and birth. Someone who is trying for liberation. He is considered to be the most intelligent person, and since this is the goal, such a person engages in the devotional service of the Lord, because only the bhakti marg, the path of bhakti, can actually give liberation. Only Krishna is capable of doing that. And now in the last verse 30, Krishna summarizes everything and says Sadhi Bhutadhi Devam Mam Sadhi Yagyam Chaye Viduhu Prayana Kale Chapimam Te Vidur Yukta Chetasah. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. That means if Krishna, people understand Krishna as he has been described in this one chapter itself as a source of everything, the governing principle of material, spiritual creation, of devatas, everyone, such a person, if he such a person will be able to remember the Lord and know him even at the time of death. So if we are able to maintain this consciousness, remembering Krishna's greatness, his supremacy, his special position, we are practicing it and remain in this consciousness, and even at the time of death we'll be able to maintain this consciousness, and then what will happen? We'll be able to achieve the supreme destination, the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. Krishna's planet will go to him and not remain stuck in this world, and that is the ultimate goal. So but to maintain that consciousness, we have to hear about him. We have to hear just like Krishna has explained about himself in this chapter. So one who hears regularly will be able to maintain such divine consciousness. How will we remember someone if we don't even hear about his glories? So we are hearing regularly to maintain this or develop this divine consciousness, so that as and when that hour of death arrives, we are able to maintain the same consciousness. And if we can remember the Lord at the last moment, we go to him, and that is considered the perfection of life. That means the soul has got liberated. So whatever we remember, that's what we get. And Krishna ends this chapter with emphasis on this, the word death, prayana kale, and then he elaborates on this particular topic, death, in chapter number 8. So it is a reality which nobody wants to talk about, but nobody can avoid. So where does the soul go? At what time of the day? When the soul leaves, where is the soul expected to go? So elaborately Krishna talks about it. So that will be chapter number 8. So we'll discuss that in the next few podcasts. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.